Hello students! In our previous video, we learned about fertilization in humans. We know that semen, which contains male sperms, is introduced in female vagina. Human sperms are motile and rapidly swim towards the ovum lying in the fallopian tube via uterus. Here, the sperm meets the ovum and fuses with it to produce diploid zygote. Now this zygote starts moving downwards in the tube towards uterus. And while this journey, what happens to this zygote? Let's see. After fertilization, the zygote undergoes rapid and successive mitotic divisions. These divisions, which results in the formation of many cells from one zygote, is called as cleavage. The first cleavage takes place about 30 hours after fertilization and produces these cells called as blastomeres. Further, cleavage of cells continues and produces 8 to 16 cell structure called as morula and then blastocyst. Thus, after 6 to 8 days of fertilization, blastocyst is formed. It has outer layer of blastomere cells called trophoblast and an inner group of blastomere cells attached to trophoblast called as the inner cell mass. Now the blastocyst reaches the uterus and trophoblast layer gets attached to the endometrial wall, which is the inner wall of uterus, while the inner cell mass continues to develop as embryo. After the attachment, the uterine cells divide rapidly and covers the blastocyst and it gets buried in the pit of uterine wall. The process of embedding of blastocyst into the uterine wall, that is endometrial wall, is called as implantation. After implantation, finger-like projections start to appear on the trophoblast. These are called as chorionic villi. And also the cells of trophoblast forms a layer called as chorion around the embryo, while the cells of inner cell mass forms into 3 layers of cells from which the whole human body will develop: an outer layer called ectoderm and an inner layer called endoderm. A middle layer, that is mesoderm, soon appears between ectoderm and endoderm. These 3 layers give rise to all the tissues and organs in the adult body. This process of different tissue formation from the same type of cells of these 3 layers is called as cell differentiation. This you will study in your higher classes, students. But for now, the cells of inner mass not only forms this layer but also forms extra-embryonic membranes, that is yolk sac, allantois and amnion. Now the chorionic villi and the uterine tissue, that is tissues of mother's uterus, jointly form a structural and functional unit between developing embryo called as fetus and maternal body. This structure is called as placenta. The umbilical cord then develops and connects the fetus to the placenta on the later stages. This placenta helps in the nourishment of developing fetus. This provides a large surface area for the transfer of glucose and oxygen from mother's body to the embryo. Not only this, the developing embryo also generates waste substances which are removed from the fetus to the mother's body via blood through the placenta. As you can observe in the figure, students, the developing embryo is protected by fetal membranes. These are the amnion, allantois, yolk sac and chorion. Remember, students, these membranes are not the part of embryo and so they are called as extra-embryonic membranes. Apart from protection, these extra-embryonic membranes provide means to transport nutrients and wastes between mother and fetus. The embryonic development inside the mother's body takes approximately 280 days or 9 months and 10 days for humans. This time period of embryo development in the uterus is called gestation period. Now this period is not same for all organisms. But this period is counted from the first day of last menstrual cycle until the parturition. Now you must be thinking, what is parturition? Let's see. At the end of gestation period, fully developed fetus from the mother's uterus is pushed out. Hormone oxytocin stimulates the strong contractions of uterine wall, which provides force to push or expel the baby out from the uterus, causing the childbirth. Baby is pushed slowly outwards through the birth canal. It is the passageway from the uterus through cervix and vagina. This process of expulsion of fully developed fetus out at the end of the gestation period is called parturition. Now, another important change that occurs in females during pregnancy is the development of mammary glands in order to produce milk. The process of milk production after childbirth from mammary glands of mother is called lactation. Now, milk production is stimulated by prolactin hormone, and the ejection of milk from the breast is stimulated by hormone oxytocin. The first milk released from mammary glands of lactating mother for 2 to 3 days after parturition or childbirth is called as colostrum. This milk or colostrum is rich in proteins and antibodies and low in fats. The antibodies provides immunity to the newborn and helps to strengthen it. So students, we have seen the development of zygote into embryo and into fetus, and then its expulsion out, which is childbirth. In the coming videos, we will learn about various aspects of reproductive health.